What is up, my frugal friends? Welcome back to the channel. Now, when most people think of Arizona, they picture sizzling desert highways, towering saguaro cacti, and temperatures that'll make you sweat just thinking about them. But today, we are busting that myth wide open. We have escaped the blistering 110-degree heat of Phoenix and climbed up into the cool, crisp, whispering forests of the White Mountains. Welcome to Show Low, Arizona. At 6,400 feet above sea level, the air up here doesn't just feel cooler, it feels like a completely different world. We are talking daytime temps in the low 80s, the scent of fresh pine needles in the air, and a rugged laid-back vibe that instantly makes you want to slow down. But here is the best part. We are going to explore this stunning high country gem on an absolute shoestring budget. Because as you know, around here, we don't believe you need a fat wallet to have a rich travel experience. Before we dive into the free hiking and the cheap eats, let's talk about the name. Yes, Show Low is easily one of the most unique town names in America, and the story of how it got its name is pure, legendary Wild West. Back in the 1870s, two business partners, Corydon Cooley and Marion owned a massive 100,000-acre ranch up here. Eventually, they realized the ranch wasn't big enough for the both of them. So they decided to settle the dispute with an all-night game of poker. As the sun started to peek over the pines, the final hand was dealt. Clark turned to Cooley and said, "If you can show low, you win." Cooley looked at his hand, laid down the Deuce of Clubs, the lowest card in the deck, and replied, "Show low it is." Cooley walked away with the ranch, the town got its name, and today, the main highway cutting right through town is proudly named Deuce of Clubs. Now, if that isn't the coolest origin story in Arizona, I don't know what is. Alright, let's talk about the single biggest expense of any trip, lodging. If you look up hotels in town during the peak summer escape season, you'll see prices that might make your eyes water. But we are frugal travelers, which means we have a secret weapon. Public lands. Show Low is completely cradled by the Apache-Sitgreaves National Forests. And you know what that means? Dispersed camping. That's right. Free, 100% legal boondocking on beautiful public lands. If you head just a few miles outside the city limits onto any of the marked Forest Service roads, you can pull off and pitch your tent or park your rig in some of the most scenic spots imaginable, completely free of charge. Just remember the golden rules of public land. You can stay up to 14 days and make sure to check the local motor vehicle use map to see exactly where roadside camping is permitted. Dispersed camping means you won't have electrical hookups, flush toilets, or running water, but what you will have is a million-star hotel. You'll wake up to the sound of wind whispering through the pines and birds chirping rather than noisy hotel hallways. Now, if you're going to boondock up here, there are a few extra safety rules to keep in mind. First, respect the environment. Always pack out what you pack in and practice strict leave no trace principles. Second, check fire restrictions. Because we are in a high-elevation pine forest, fire dangers can get extreme in the summer, and Stage 2 fire restrictions are common. That means no open wood or charcoal fires, keep it to gas or propane stoves only, and clear a 10-foot area around your cooking space. And third, water is gold. Fill up your water jugs at local parks or gas stations before you head out into the trees. By camping for free, you are immediately saving $40, $50, or even $100 a night. That is how we keep the budget in check right from the start. Now that we've got our free home away from home set up in the pines, it's time to head to the water. Show Low is famous for its lakes, and the absolute crown jewel of the area is Fool Hollow Lake Recreation Area. Now, you might wonder how this gorgeous place got a name like Fool Hollow. Well, back in 1885, a pioneer named Thomas Jefferson Adair settled right in this valley with big plans to start a farm. The local mountain residents thought he was completely out of his mind and joked that only a fool would try to farm in a rugged, rocky canyon like this. The name stuck. The farming venture didn't survive, and eventually the valley was dammed to create this beautiful 150-acre lake submerging the old town of Adair. But Adair's foolish dream lives on in one of the most spectacular recreational lakes in the state. Because Fool Hollow is a state park, there is a small vehicle entry fee. It's $7 on weekdays and $10 on weekends. But trust me, this is one of those times where spending a few dollars is worth every single penny. It is an outdoor paradise. You've got pristine hiking trails that wind right along the water's edge, clean restrooms, hot showers, and shaded picnic ramadas. If you're into fishing, this lake is stocked with rainbow trout, largemouth bass, walleye, and catfish. You can fish right off the shore or use one of the handicapped accessible fishing piers. If you have your own kayak or paddleboard, launch it here for a tranquil afternoon glide. Wildlife is everywhere. Keep your eyes peeled for great blue herons fishing in the shallows, busy beavers building dams, and if you're really lucky, you might spot a deer or elk coming down to the water for an evening drink. If you want a slightly different vibe, head over to Show Low Lake on the southern edge of town. It's a 100-acre lake sitting at 6,500 feet. There's a wonderful campground there too, and a small convenience store where you can rent boats or grab cheap bait and snacks. It's the perfect way to spend a warm summer afternoon without spending a fortune. If even a park entry fee is pushing your daily budget, don't sweat it. Show Low has plenty of incredible experiences that will cost you absolutely $0. Right now, I am walking the Show Low Bluff Trail. This is a gorgeous, well-maintained trail that winds along Show Low Creek. It is completely free to access, has plenty of free parking, and offers some of the most peaceful scenery in the area. On one side, you have the gentle creek, and on the other, you have towering moss-covered rock bluffs topped with ponderosa pines. There are interpretive signs along the way, explaining the local flora and fauna, and plenty of benches where you can sit, relax, and just soak in the forest quiet. It's flat, easy, and perfect for a morning stroll or a scenic bike ride. When you're ready for a little indoor exploration and a heavy dose of small-town charm, make your way to the Show Low Historical Museum. Located right near the center of town, this museum has amassed an incredible, quirky collection of memorabilia donated by local families over the decades. We are talking beautifully preserved, hand-stitched quilts, historic military gear, vintage blacksmithing and farming tools, and even old-school barbershop equipment. It is like taking a giant step back in time to the early pioneer days of northern Arizona. The volunteers here are incredibly friendly and possess a wealth of knowledge about the region's history. And the best part? Admission is entirely free. They do run on donations, so if you have $1 or $2 to spare, toss it in the jar to support keeping local history alive. Afterward, head over to Show Low City Park. It is a massive, beautiful green space right in the heart of town with huge playgrounds, shaded picnic pavilions, and excellent walking paths. It is the perfect place to pack a cheap lunch, lay out a blanket under the pines, and enjoy a lazy afternoon. All this hiking and exploring works up a massive appetite. And you know the frugal traveler rule. Skip the big national fast food chains and support the local spots where you get real flavor and great value. For breakfast, you absolutely have to stop at Darby's Cafe. This place is a Show Low institution. It has this wonderfully cozy, rustic mountain cabin feel inside, and the portions are absolutely massive. If you order their classic biscuits and gravy or a hearty breakfast skillet, you are getting enough food to easily split with a travel partner or fuel you through a whole day of hiking. It is incredibly delicious, reasonably priced, and the friendly, bustling service makes you feel right at home. Another incredible budget-friendly breakfast favorite is Persnickety's, known for its hearty, delicious plates and incredibly welcoming small-town atmosphere. For lunch or dinner, there is only one place to go for the ultimate local hangout vibe, the house. Now, this isn't just a restaurant, it's an experience. The house features a massive, open grassy yard filled with picnic tables, cornhole boards, and a stage for local live music. They serve up awesome, high-quality American pub fare with a fun twist, including their famous donut burger if you're feeling adventurous. But what makes this place a frugal goldmine is the atmosphere. You can order a reasonably priced burger or a basket of fries, grab a local craft beer, and spend hours lounging in the yard, playing cornhole, and listening to live music under the mountain sun. And if you want a sweet treat for dessert, look no further than the Red Barn Creamery, which sits on the exact same property. They serve up some of the best, most delicious homemade ice cream in the White Mountains, with dairy-free options too. It is the ultimate spot to cap off a perfect budget-friendly day in Show Low. If you happen to plan your trip between May and September, you are in for a real treat. Every single Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., the downtown area along Deuce of Clubs comes alive with the Show Low Farmers Market. Parking is 100% free, and strolling through the market is one of the best ways to experience the incredible community spirit of this town. Vendors from all over the region gather here to sell fresh, locally grown produce, farm fresh eggs, regional honey, homemade jams, freshly baked breads, and beautiful handmade arts and crafts. If you're camping or staying in a cabin, this is the ultimate place to pick up some cheap, incredibly fresh ingredients for a dinner back at camp. You can buy some locally raised meats, fresh veggies, and a loaf of sourdough bread, head back to your campsite, and cook up a world-class meal under the stars for a fraction of the cost of eating out. Even if you don't buy anything, the lively atmosphere, live music, and friendly chats with local farmers make it a wonderful, free Saturday morning activity. As the sun sets over the White Mountains and the evening breeze starts to carry that crisp pine scent, I'm reminded of why I love traveling this way. Show Low, Arizona, is proof positive that you don't need to spend thousands of dollars to escape the heat and have an unforgettable adventure. By leveraging free dispersed camping in the National Forest, enjoying free trails like the Bluff Trail and the Historical Museum, visiting stunning lakes for a nominal fee, and eating at hearty, high-value local spots, you can easily spend a weekend up here for less than $100. Traveling frugally isn't about depriving yourself. It's about stripping away the expensive distractions so you can focus on what actually matters. The whispering pines, the cool mountain air, the warmth of a beautiful mountain evening, and the welcoming smiles of a small town. If you enjoyed this budget guide to Show Low, do me a huge favor. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel so you never miss a frugal adventure, and leave a comment below. Have you ever been to Show Low? What's your favorite budget travel tip for escaping the heat? Be sure to download our free Show Low travel guide in the description below. Until next time, keep exploring, keep adventuring, and keep it frugal, my friends. I'll see you on the next road trip.